Hello, gentle marketers. Welcome to episode 58 of the Gentle Business Revolution podcast, the show where we talk about marketing your business by disrupting the current marketing paradigm and changing it to a gentler approach, one that's based on empathy and kindness. I'm Sarah Zenacroce, as always. I'm the host here, and you know that you're in the right place if you are a heart-centered entrepreneur or change maker who is looking for a different, a better way to market your business. Or you are a marketing impact pioneer, so someone who's working in an organization who does business for good. All right, so today I'm back with another book update. The last one was episode 50, sarahzenacroce.com/GBR50, if you haven't heard that one. So here's what happened since then. I handed in the manuscript to the wonderful Deborah, who is my proofreader. And so after 2 rounds of edits with Elizabeth, Deborah then went to work and proofread the book. Luckily, she said that I had a really good editor, so Elizabeth obviously did a really good job already. So there was some minor things, mainly, either grammar related or punctuation related, so some small things. I also hired her to write a book description for me. So that was so totally worth it because she does that as part of her services. And it's really hard actually to write the description of your own book. Like, I think it's really worth it to pay someone else with an outside view to write it for you because you're so much in it that it's kind of hard to, take this bird's eye view and think about the big picture. So I'm really happy with what she came up with. What else? I also chose the final cover design. So that is now finalized and I'm really happy with what we've come up with. This blend between very bold and, revolutionary, kind of brave, pragmatic feel. So I'll post the final cover on the show notes. So sarahzenacroce.com/GBR58 if you want to check out the final cover. But so this black kind of really bold font that says Marketing Revolution, and then the softer side with the mandala and the word gentle in a different font. So I'm really happy with it. And I do really want to thank everybody who put in their opinion. It really helped me simplify and come to what's essential about this. I also got some pictures taken for the Amazon author page, and my website definitely needed an update. So I found a great photographer here in Switzerland, in the Lausanne area. If you need a photographer, definitely check out Haley Hay. And we had a fun photo shooting, and I think the pictures turned out really well. Again, showing some of my professional side with a jacket on for the LinkedIn stuff, and then I wore a Snoopy t-shirt that says, now I don't remember what it says, but something about peace and love. So, very kind of casual look as well there. So, it was fun. The last book blurbs are also coming in right now. So that was a big piece of the last, let's say, 2 months. And by the way, a blurb, I was told in British English, those are not called blurbs because a blurb is the book description. And so in British English, a blurb is a quote. So I'm going to refer to it as a blurb. And what I mean by that, if you are in England, is a quote. So basically you reach out to someone whom you'd like to get a quote from. So that you can use either on the first few pages of the book or on Amazon. Basically someone who's read the book and who is giving you a quote because they're recommending it. So how did I go about getting them? Well, pretty much I think already from day one, I started to create a list of people whom I'd like to reach out to and ask for a blurb. And once I had that list of maybe about 25 people, about 2 months ago, I reached out to them and I asked them if they'd be willing to send in a blurb. I gave them the choice, either directly in the email, I linked to a Google Doc with a summary of the book. And I also told them that I'd be happy to send them the whole book in either PDF or Mobi or EPUB. And so I would say probably a bit more than half of them went ahead without reading the book. So they based their blurb or quote on the book summary and on obviously knowing me and my work. And then the other half, or minority maybe, they said, yeah, I'd love to read the book and then give you a blurb. So those are the ones who are now, those are the final ones now coming in. And all in all, this has been a wonderful experience. I think out of the whole list, right now I can only remember one person who said, I won't have the time and I don't want to send you a quote just without reading the whole book. Reflecting back now, I think it's not a bad thing. So maybe that wasn't the right person to ask. So I'm really quite happy with who I asked, who sent in the blurbs, and now, having these recommendations to be able to show on the book itself and on Amazon. So it's obviously something that requires quite a bit of, I wouldn't say work, but it's relationships that have been built over years, really. And it's not something that, all of a sudden you can just reach out and say, hey, would you blurb my book, if you have never before had contact. Most of the people actually, I think I really think that most of them have been on my podcast before. And so that's where the relationship really developed. So again, another thing to really thank my podcast for. What else? I recorded the video for the Kickstarter campaign. That was hard. So I hired basically my husband to come with me to the lake and record the video. I had a script. I hate videos still, especially if it's some kind of sales pitch. It's just never been my thing. And I still struggle with it. And Tony, my husband, he's like, oh, just go with the flow and say whatever comes to your mind. I'm like, I can't do that. That's just too difficult for me. And so I think in the end, it worked out. I have a video that looks okay. I then had it edited. And so I'm going to use that one for the Kickstarter campaign in December. I also got really good feedback from my beta readers. So that was really encouraging. So the people who did read the book, whether they were the ones who were writing a blurb or just a few handful of people whom I sent the book to, they gave me really good feedback. So I was really encouraged by that. I also reached out to a few local editors to see if they'd be interested in publishing the book in French. All of them said no, or they would have to have the translation in French already. So that would be a big investment for me that right now I'm not willing to make. But one of the editors actually, even though it was a no, I told him that was the most positive no I've ever received, because he was saying that he really enjoyed the book and he can see that this is going to be a success in the English version. And depending on the numbers from the English version, he might reconsider and rediscuss. So that was, again, very, very positive feedback to hear. So if there's good sales or just good feedback, I will probably get back to him, and it would be nice to have the book also in French. I'm also working with the designer on the back cover now for the print copy. So remember, you need a print or a cover for the ebook, and for that you only need the front cover. But if you decide to also make it available for print, then you also need the back cover of the book. So that's what we're designing now. And she needed the book description for it because that's what usually goes on the back of the book cover. So now that we have that, we can finalize that. And also what she's helping me with is researching Amazon keywords and categories. So I realized that that's a whole separate and different story by itself, and one could probably spend weeks and weeks trying to learn and understand that. I do want to be mindful of these keywords and categories, but I decided I don't want to become an expert at Amazon keywords and categories. So I'll kind of look to the book cover designer because she has experience in that to give me guidance, and then I'll just trust my instinct. And finally, I created a separate page with all the book episodes on one page. So if you'd like to go back to any of them, you can find that at sarahsanacroce.com/book episodes. And it's basically a collection of all the episodes that I did around these book updates. So for now, that's what I have. Also reminding you that I do have this voicemail option at sarahsanacroce.com/ask. If you have a question that you'd like me to address during one of the next book episodes or just in general on the podcast, you can leave me a voicemail at sarahsanacroce.com/ask. I hope you enjoyed this update. Please find the show notes at sarahsanacroce.com/GBR58. This episode concludes the season, and I'll take a short break, and we'll be back with season 8 on November 4th. All the interviews are already booked or recorded, and again, I think it'll be a great season. If you'd like to actively support the podcast and become a member of the Gentle Business Circle, please check out the details at sarahsanacroce.com/circle. Let's be the change we want to see in the world. Speak soon.